Sean Castle, good to see you, brother. I haven't talked to you in a bit.
Sean?
I had to see you.
I love it. I love it. So so when I was coming over to Keller Williams, Sean was the one that pushed me over the edge. I actually called him to get the skinny on what you crazies were doing over here, and Sean's the one who really told me what it ended up to be absolutely true, Sean, just how open and sharing everybody is here. So happy to give back to that in some small way. Great to have you on today. Marquise, good to see you, and Robin, good to see you as well. So last week we worked on putting together the whole package, right? So starting with PPO, like learning our client's perspective, learning their plan, and then giving them an alternative opportunity or another option to do it faster, better, or now, right? So that was last week. We're gonna do some more of that this week, but I thought that we would kind of take a pause and work on direct questions a little bit. So this part, when I was first learning, was a little difficult, and I'm going to post some direct questions here in the chat. And so this part was tough for me because sometimes you gotta the best way to attack an objection is directly. So so these are some examples of some direct questions. So when someone says, hey, I want to wait till the summer, right? Now we don't really know why they want to wait till the summer to buy a house. There's a lot of different reasons, right? It could be that they think the market's going to calm down. It could be that their job is, they're going to get 2 weeks off and they want to use that as a time to look for their house. It could be 1,000 different things. We don't know, right? So when we get that first answer, we don't know. And so we want to dig deeper into that initial objection, right? I want to wait till the market gets better. Oh, I want to wait until the spring market. Oh, I want to wait until next year. No, I don't want to buy now. It's a bad time to buy, or whatever it may be, right? So we want to dig a little deeper so we have a deeper understanding. There's 2 reasons that we do that. One is because that first objection is usually smoke, right? It's not necessarily why we don't want to do it. So for example, I had someone on the phone last week and no, I'm not interested. No, I'm not interested. No, I'm not interested. Actually, I met with you about 4 months ago and you told me that my mortgage, that I had to find my own mortgage person. And that offended me. And I went and found another agent because they would help me find a mortgage person, right? So that was like the first I'm not interested was smoke. As we dug deeper, we find what's really going on, right? And so that's the first reason. But the second reason is that usually that first objection is pretty general in nature, and we need to get more specific before we can offer them an alternative opportunity. And sometimes we jump into for example, when I went on a listing appointment in Havertown not too long ago, someone said, hey, how many homes have you sold in Havertown, right? And so the answer is 0. Okay, just to let you know. So I went into this long diatribe about how technology has allowed us to really understand areas in ways that we couldn't before. Like travel agents don't really, that's not how you book your travel anymore because all that information is readily available. Blah, 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 blah. I went on for I don't even know how long about why it's not important. Having a local realtor is not what's important. And the reality was she wanted someone that was going to be able to maybe go put her dogs in the cage if there were showings and she wasn't around to be able to put the dogs in the cage, and she wanted someone that could do that. Now, this is why she said, how many homes have you sold in Havertown? But in the end, what she really wanted, I didn't get the listing, by the way. So I'm letting you guys learn off of my own mistakes. I didn't get the listing because I went into some what I thought she wanted, right? Why I thought she was asking the question, why I thought she had an objection, instead of asking more questions and going deeply into it. So I ran into her at the grocery store like a month ago. And I was like, hey, did you ever get your house sold? Of course she did. It's Havertown, it's a seller's market. So she said yes. And I said, hey, would you mind sharing with me? And she said, listen, I wanted someone local because I have dogs that I don't want them to be out when people are showing properties, and I didn't think you were local. Now, here's the irony. I live in Havertown. My office is in Havertown. So I had the answer, I had the solution to her question, and I just didn't find out what her question was because I assumed I knew what it was, right? So this is why we ask these direct questions so that we can really understand. And they're a little bit tough to do in the beginning because they seem a little aggressive, right? But the reality is this is how we dig. This is how we find out what's really going on. And so we're going to work on that a little bit today. So we're going to play a game. It's a direct question game. And so everybody, if you wouldn't mind, grab a piece of paper and I want you to write down 3 objections. It's okay if we do more than once. Okay. Everybody's going to write down 3 objections. Nothing too complex. And I want it to be general in nature to start out. So I'm going to wait till the summer and then so that's one objection, and then have a reason why you want to wait till the summer, right? And make the person's going to ask you direct questions until they get to that. Now, there's a lot of roundabout ways to do this. We can, ask a bunch of motivation questions. If you found the perfect home tomorrow, would you be willing to do it? You can go around in circles, and we often do beat around the bush when we're asking these questions, but I'm going to challenge you to be direct. So here's an example. Robin, how many homes have you sold in Havertown? This is what I should have said, by the way. This cost me, I don't know, it's a $21,000 lesson probably, right? Robin, how many houses have you sold in Havertown? Tell me what's important to you about having someone who has experience in Havertown. Pretty simple, right? And then she would have said, well, I have dogs, and I would have learned the story, and I'd have said, I'm happy to go put your dogs in the crate whenever we have showings. Your house is actually less than a 3-minute drive from my office. Not a problem, right? Easy peasy. Robin would have $21,000 in his pocket, but I don't, because I didn't ask that direct question. But that's my challenge to you guys. So I wrote some direct questions in here. But anyway, so as we go on, 3 objections and then the real reason behind your objection. So, and if you have any questions about that, let me know. But I think that's pretty self-explanatory. 3 objections. So here's how the game goes. Go ahead, Dana.
I just wanted to add, I sometimes feel like there's hesitation because we feel like people are going to be offended, right? If we ask them questions. Does anyone ever feel that way sometimes? But the reality is, people think you care more if you ask questions. So try and change your mindset with that, with asking questions as curiosity and caring versus interrogating.
Ooh, very good. Yeah, we talked about that at the beginning, right? We come from curiosity. We really want to understand their perspective and how they view the world. That's the beginning stages of handling an objection and understanding a client. So this is just furthering that. I think, Dana, that's perfect. That is exactly what we're doing, is we're kind of furthering that. So anyway, so everybody has 3 objections. Now, the way that we're going to play the game is I'm going to go first. Okay. And I am going to pick who I'm going to give an objection to. So, for example, I'm going to pick on, I'll do Dana. That's a good one. We'll start with this. I'm going to give you an objection. You have to ask me direct questions to understand where that direction comes from. And when you hit it, I say, you got it. Right. And so once that happens, then now Dana is going to pick on somebody else. and that person she's going to give her objection to that person. That person has to ask direct questions until they get it. Once they get it, Dana says, "You got it," and then onward we go. So we're just learning how to dig today. Just learning how to dig. All right. All right. If you don't want to participate, now's the time to suddenly have something to clean in your house, because we're all going to be jumping on this today. All right. All right, great. Dana, I am going to wait until next year to buy a house, but thank you for asking.
Yeah, absolutely. Why, what's the hesitation that you're gonna wait till next year?
It's next year's. I'm going to make it tough on you, Dana, because you're toughy. Just next year's is going to be a better time for me and my family. It's also more realistic, right? You're going to get one more nonsense answer. Next year is just a better time for me and my family.
Yeah, Robin, if you don't mind me asking, what's going on with you and your family?
The reality is my mom is in hospice right now, and it's just we're I want us to focus on her, and as it turns out next year, it might be a better time for me and my family. We definitely want to buy a bigger house, but we just want to focus on our family for right now.
Oh my God, Robin, I am so sorry to hear about that. My thoughts and prayers go out to you and your family. That is not an easy thing to go through. I would love to add value to you and your family. So I want you to know that I'm very tapped into the neighborhood. I know you want to wait till next year, but I would still love to learn a little bit more about what you're looking for. That way, in case if anything came up, I can share that info with you first. Would that be okay?
Oh my God, and Dana added a close. All right, awesome, Dana. Very good. You got it. And that's like a good example, right? Like we never know what's behind that story. And we think we understand it, and oftentimes we're wrong. All right, Dana, you're up.
All right. I'm gonna pick on Sean Castle. Can you play with me, Sean Castle?
I thought I was just going to get to listen.
No, come on, we want to learn.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
All right. So my objection for you is I don't know where I want to buy. I've rented in a lot of different neighborhoods, and buying a house, it's such a finite thing.
Sure. I actually hear this all the time, so this makes sense. So I usually start with, why don't you tell me, like, where do you work right now?
Yeah, so I work in Center City, but it's really, crazy and noisy and congested, and I definitely don't want to live in a condo.
Gotcha. Where, like, would a commute to work scare you then?
As long as it's not like an hour long, probably not.
Like 30 to 45 minutes would be reasonable with it? Like,
Yeah,
within that? Okay.
definitely.
So we could definitely look in some of the suburbs. I mean, you can go into Bucks, you could probably go into Delco, Montgomery County. They're probably all within 30, 45 minutes. Would that be something you're worth considering?
Yeah, definitely. I'm just not sure, like, do I want a townhome, a single family home? It's just so overwhelming.
Sure. Well, let me find out a little bit about like what it is that's going on in your life. Do you have any pets?
I do. I have 3 dogs.
3 dogs. So what I'm hearing is maybe a yard.
Yeah, definitely a yard.
Okay. Do you have a like a big family? Are you an entertainer?
So it's just me and my husband, but we do like to have friends over for game night.
Okay. Is that like a weekly thing?
Yeah, we usually do it Friday night.
Nice. Yeah. My fiance and I, we like to do that too. We have friends over, a couple glasses of wine, and just sit around and laugh a lot. But yeah, you definitely want, so you want to have some entertainment space.
Yeah, that's definitely important.
Okay.
But I don't want a huge house that I have to get overwhelmed with cleaning either.
Yeah, nobody likes that. And this is so just I want to pause real quick. You want to tread lightly because you don't want to start asking like, do you have kids? Are you planning on having kids? Like stuff like that, because that can become like A, an ethical conflict, and B, like kind of offensive in and of itself. So I always steer clear of like those questions. All right. So what I'm hearing though is that you do want kind of like that homey feel where you can have people over, you're comfortable, you don't have to clean a lot, and you can still get to work within a reasonable amount of time. You're not stressed out about your commute. But you definitely want to have like some room for the dogs that they can run around and play. So I mean, it sounds like you want like a neighborhood type setup. I'm thinking like Montgomery County or Bucks County, maybe even just stay out of Delco because you're gonna get more twins and stuff like that, more congestion in that county. Is there a specific like budget that you're looking at all yet?
Sean got it. So nailed down, help me out. Because I think I was overwhelmed. So great job, Sean.
Yeah. Sean, that was great. Now here's my challenge for you is, so Sean's obviously has a lot of experience, right? So this is not the first time he's had this conversation. Now here's the thing. When I was watching it, right, it was like here's the objection, and Sean circled and circled until he like got a clear picture and then was able to kind of nail it, right? There is a more direct way to jump in there, and that's with one of these direct questions, right? So what's important to you about, right? What's important to you about your next home? Tell me about your experience of the city of versus the surrounding areas. Have you, you've lived in a number of places. I get that. Tell me, what places did you enjoy the most? There's a couple more direct ways to get there. Then to go around and circle the issue. But that was great, Sean. For first day. I mean, obviously you're Sean Castle, though, so of course.
Stop.
All right. All right. Fantastic. So Sean, you are next. You are going to give an objection to someone here.
Let's go. Jana. I don't want to say your name wrong right off the bat. Jana.
Yeah.
I want to wait until the market crashes.
Dang it.
You got this.
Get used to hearing that one. Yeah, for sure.
Man.
This is every day right now. So this is the one you're going to hear the most, I think.
Okay, Sean. Whew, you this is an open-ended one because I believe in the market crash as well. But right now, with the way that the market is going, that crash doesn't seem like it's coming soon. What are your options if the market never crashes?
Well, I just think this to me, this seems just like 08. And, I'm just waiting for it to really die off. And then, I'll be able to buy something at a 40% discounted price. And, I'm just going to wait for that to happen.
Okay. Can I ask you where you currently work right now?
Right now I work in Conshohocken.
Conshohocken. Okay.
Yeah, I live in King of Prussia.
Can you kind of tell me what kind of specs in the house you're looking for? Do you have a big family? Do you want a single home? Are you okay with a condo? Because a lot of times in our MLS, that 40% off house may come up and it may need a little bit of work. So you may luck up by looking for a house within the price range that you want. Is that something that was kind of like a loaded question. Is that something that you would consider?
I mean, yeah, I just think everything right now is overpriced and there's so many like bidding wars going on and I just don't want to get involved in any of that. So I'd rather just kind of wait. And I'm super confident that this is going to happen this year. Listen, I'll give you a little insight. There's really no way that you're going to get me. The objection you're really trying to overcome is showing me why this isn't 08, right?
Good luck. Yeah, good luck with that, right? So,
right, because it's hard. This is hard because you're going to try to use facts and figures on an emotional argument, right? And
Right.
I'm tied to an emotional argument. You're going to be tied to factual information. So, you know, I think for me, the overcome would be, so what, like what you said, what if it never happens? What would you consider? And I'm still saying, no, it's going to happen. It's like, well, like, let's just say, you know, this is where I dig in deeper and just say, well, let's just really say like it doesn't happen for 5 more years. We're like, is there a need that you have to fulfill? That's where then you'll actually get me to like tell you what it is. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, Sean, that's exactly right. Like that's a good direct question. Well, you can just flip it. What if that doesn't happen? Right? Let's
Right,
just
like
let's
what
just,
if you
let's
just pretend you're wrong for a second?
yeah. Listen, I'm pretty sure my car is going to start when I go to work today, but I do have a backup plan. Right?
Right. What if it doesn't?
So what would your backup plan be if it doesn't? Right?
Well, if it doesn't, like my fiance and I, we have 1 child. We're getting married this year. We're thinking about having another kid next year, and we have a 3-bedroom townhouse. We really want to be in a single family home with 4 bedrooms, hopefully by next year.
And he
Boom.
vomits up the story, right? So
Right.
like exactly, right? So that's kind of the goal, is that first shell. We got to get through the first shell, and then the story emerges, right? Then now we understand Sean in a way, and we could debate economics. There's a lot of like rabbit holes to go down on that, and
so
we
my
don't want
biggest
to we don't want to do that.
for the newcomers that have a hard time talking about like what's the market like that's always like a loaded question. I feel like for a newcomer, because you're like, it's good, like you don't really have the experience yet. So when somebody says, oh, I just feel like it's going to crash, well, why does this feel like 08 to you? That's my question. I want them to explain what happened in 08 first, so that I don't have to be the one to say you're wrong. You know what I mean? So like first I go, what do you think happened in 08? Oh, well, realtors were inflating prices, right? Realtors were the problem. And it's like, well, so what do you really know about the crash in 08? Because it had a lot to do with regulation, and it had a lot to do with appraisals. And then if you can educate them, you show them that value. So that's why we have all this regulation now. That's why it's a lot harder to buy a house now and get pre-approved for a mortgage now. And they're like, oh, I didn't know that. I'm like, right. In 08, we had plenty of inventory and prices were still going up. That had nothing to do with what's happening right now. And then they might want to listen to you.
So I want to share this slide with you. This was part of Gary's speech from Family Reunion. And I love it because it shows inventory, and it specifically goes over that 07, 08, 09.
Yeah, plenty of inventory.
And it shows you kind of where we are now. So our inventory right now, this is annual months of supply. So in a balanced market, that dotted line is 6 months of inventory. Right now, we're at about 2.3 months of inventory. So in order for the market to crash and to feel like 08 again, we need to have over 6 months, probably feeling more like 10 months of inventory. And as a realtor, I can tell you it's not going to go from 2 months to 10 months of inventory in 1 year. It hasn't happened in forever. History repeats itself. Could it happen 5 years from now? Sure. But I want to share this slide with you and show you this is why I don't want you to miss out on the opportunity to buy a home waiting, because not only is our inventory super low and we're probably not going to feel that, oh, wait, go into a slum, but because of this is prices, and prices are on a rise and will continue to be on a rise. So while I understand where you're coming from in waiting for the market not to be in a bidding war, I could offer you the opportunity to gain equity as market shares keep going up and the demand for homes keep going up. You'll probably make out better with lower interest rates and more equity being built over the next 2-3 years than you will waiting 5 years for a crash.
And more often than not, when you get down to that, then the actual reason will emerge. The last time I had this debate was last night, and I was
every day.
they I was showing someone properties in New Jersey. They looked at one that was a $325,000 house in a $400,000 neighborhood. And they looked at one that was a $270,000 house in a $250,000 neighborhood, right? So we as realtors know which one is probably more economically correct to do. So I started going into this conversation about like the market and It's because why it's a better idea to buy in a $325,000 house, because then you can pour money into it and you can still recoup that money when you go to sell it later. Whereas at a $270,000 house, if you pour money into it, you cannot recoup that money when you go to sell it later. So we were kind of having this conversation. She said, well, it doesn't matter anyway, because prices are going to plummet. Now, this is what we call the bait. Don't take the bait. She just wanted a swimming pool. That was it. It was all about the swimming pool, right? She wanted to buy the house with the swimming pool. She didn't care that it was overpriced, and she was using the economy, and everything's going to crash anyway. So what does it matter where you buy what? And it had nothing to do with the economy. It was because she wanted a pool, right? So I think the reality is that a lot of times this economic conversation is a smokescreen. And so we just want to make sure that we attack it directly. Okay, granted. So the houses are going to, if the house market crashes, when are you going to know the right time to buy? What's the sign going to be to you that now is the right time? And then once you ask these direct questions, usually now Sean will say, actually, we're in a townhouse. We don't need to sell today. We just want to sell. And we're gonna sell and then buy. So we're waiting for the right time. Well, now you understand his motivation. You understand a lot more about his story. Great. Well, then, and what's your backup plan? And if at the very least, at the end, you can just say to him, "Hey, we are going to follow up with you here in 3 months, get you an evaluation of your home." And maybe that's the answer, right? Maybe this person's not motivated and they're not ready. So that's okay. Awesome. All right, Janet, you are next. You have an objection and you got to pick a person and you're going to throw that objection at them. Make sure you have something behind that objection, which is your true story, and we'll go from there.
Okay. We only have Sneha, Robin, and Marquise left. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. I'm going to go with Marquise. And my objection would be, there's no houses out there. I talked to some of my friends and they say they're in bidding wars and they have put over 50 offers in and they can't win one.
Yeah, Jana, I'm so glad that you've been so engaged in these dialogues. It's awesome that you and all of your friends are kind of at the same intersection where you guys are all looking. That's fantastic. I guess my question would be, you chit-chatted with your friends. Have you spoken with any of their agents?
No.
Okay. As you know, I am an agent, and again, our friends are fantastic resources for all types of support. However, it would absolutely be my privilege, my pleasure as—
Ooh, you're closing, Marquise. Marquise, you're closing.
I'm just trying to get to tell her, like, don't listen to your friends. Like, what are you talking about, lady?
So what's the direct question that you could ask?
So I'd be like, well, are your friends realtors? Like, you can't listen to your I'm sorry, Jana.
No, you're fine. I'm horrible at this too. So let's this is good dialogue. I love it.
Okay. So tell me more, Jana. Where are your friends? Where have they been looking?
They've been looking in Montgomery County, Bucks, Delco, and they say as soon as the house comes on the market, within hours, it's pending.
Well, where are you looking, more importantly?
I'm okay with Philadelphia, in the Mount Airy Northeast section.
Okay, so did you grow up there? What draws you? I love that area. What draws you to that area?
I have a lot of family in that area.
Ah, okay. I grew up in New Jersey, and I can remember being a teenager. We always thought like the guys from like Mount Airy, they were really handsome. Mount Airy, Germantown, they were always really handsome. So I can get why your family probably likes that area as well. But enough about me. Back to you. So your family lives there. Where do you work?
I work in the Northeast,
Okay.
at the Naval Yard.
Oh, okay, at the Naval Yard in the Northeast. Okay. And right now, where are you living?
I am currently living in West Philadelphia.
Okay. So that would be a nice that'll be a nice move. Well, I just have to ask you, Jana, since you've not sat with anybody, I have an idea, it sounds like, of your general lifestyle, but since you've not sat with anyone, what's holding you back from having your own experience, searching for your perfect house, not so much living through your friends, but you sitting down with someone and finding your home near your family in Mount Airy with the cute guys?
um, uh, I don't know how to go about financing.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. So we can stop here.
Yes, absolutely. And this is a great example. So Marquise, you kind of did a little of the circling, right? Did a little of the circling, but this is, thank you, Jana. That's a perfect example of exactly how it presents itself. It presents itself as one thing, but it's really something else. And so if we take the bait and we get lost in the don't listen to your friends, and have you had a chance to talk to it, did you get your own realtor? Are your friends realtors? We're going in the wrong direction, right? I think this is a good, a direct question is, you did it great when you said, where are you looking, right? Like, where are your friends looking? But either way, like, have you had a chance, it sounds like your friends are having a frustrating experience, right? And I can understand why that, would wear on you. Have you had have you gone out and seen any houses yourself? Right? Have you had a chance to, this is another way of saying, do you have an agent? Have you gone out and have seen any properties yourself? Got it. Have you had a chance to talk with an expert about your home search? Because now you can get a little bit farther in, but there's just a direct question. Remember, there's always there's a roundabout way to get there, right? And there's always a direct way to get there. And we're just always trying to search for that direct way. But Jen, that's a great example. That's exactly how it presents itself. Oh no, like the market out there is crazy. Like, people are doing multiple bids, and really what's true is she's nervous that she's going to be able to qualify for financing. That was perfect. Yep. All right, Marquise.
Okay, so I will do Sneha.
Hello, Marquise.
Hey, Sneha. So, Sneha, I just signed a lease for 18 months.
I see. So you signed a lease for 18 months though, but so you don't want to look for something like, what was it possible for you to sign something for 12 months or?
Yeah, and there might be I think there's some wiggle room, but I'm not really sure the details.
Oh, okay. And are you happy with where you are at right now?
I mean, it's safe, it's clean, it's close to a Target. So I mean, I don't hate it.
What would be a perfect place for you then? Let me ask you that.
I do like strip malls. So proximity to like a Trader Joe's, Marshalls and TJ Maxx, you got me.
So Stan, I'm just going to pause you. These are good questions. These are motivation questions. These are location questions. These are questions about the house. But I'm going to challenge you to
Mm.
directly question what Marquise said. No, I don't want to buy a house. I just signed a lease for 18 months. What would be let's just that we can all kind of brainstorm. Everybody just kind of throw out what would be it. This is a tough one, Marquise. That's why I'm giving Sneha the phone a friend.
Yeah, I was like, what am I supposed to say to that? Somebody's already signed the lease.
I'm sorry, Sneha.
No, it's all right. You did good.
What's a good one? It's a good learning thing, right? That's what we're doing.
If you found the perfect property tomorrow, could you break that lease?
That I should have said that. That's in your objection that I read. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that, have you looked into the penalties of what that lease may bring? Do you want to continue to rent? All of these are more direct versions, right? Does anybody have another example? Sean, do you have one? What's a direct question we could ask Marquise when she says, I've signed a lease for 18 months?
Wait, what was the question?
She said her objection is, I just signed a lease for 18 months.
But is she like presenting as a buyer? I don't really understand this scenario.
She's a buyer. Yep. She's a buyer and she's saying, I would buy a house, but I just signed a lease for 18 months.
Oh, okay, great. Are you living in like a community or is it a private landlord?
A private landlord.
Oh, okay. Have you ever talked to them about potentially breaking your lease early due to buying a house?
In the beginning, I kind of hinted that, I'm a single mom, so, it's not, it's kind of hard. But yeah, I did kind of hint that that was something that I would like to, potentially do. So yeah, we did kind of talk about it.
Well, it sounds like you already planted the seed. What I would do is just reach out to them directly and say, hey, is there any way that we could discuss what it would look like if I had to break the lease? Because I kind of think I want to shop in this market. It seems really attractive to me right now. Would that be something you're willing to do?
I mean, yeah, but it's like, okay, but honestly, Sean, like, I don't have enough money for a down payment. So.
Bada bing! And
there's the problem.
There, exactly. That's perfect, right? So I think that's the key. Now I'm gonna have you go again, Marquise, because Sneha didn't get a chance to go. We stole it from her. So we're gonna go with your second objection. The other option, by the way, is you can always take that. You can always isolate the objection. Got it. But if you didn't have an 18-month lease, would you be open for purchasing a home tonight? So you want to if you can take that one objection out, are there other objections, right? This happens to me all the time. I love that you guys can always learn from my mistakes. Get a listing presentation. I don't know about 6%. That just seems really high. And I just go on to defend it. And really, hey, if we could agree on a commission, would you be willing to move forward with me? No, because my cousin's a real estate agent, right? So here I am going on and on and on about 6%. And in the end, the real objection was my cousin was a real estate agent. My cousin's a real estate agent. And so I'm not handling the wrong objection, right? So that's what happens to us a lot. We're handling the wrong objection. So either it asks direct questions to get through it, or we can isolate the objection to get around it. But either one. Okay. So Marquise, objection number 2 for Sneha, please.
So Sneha, you are a lovely lady. It's been enjoyable speaking with you, but honestly, I don't know that I'm going to stay like in the Northeast for more than the next, couple of years.
Okay, so where is your ideal place to be in next couple of years? What's the plan?
New Orleans. I think that's how the locals say it. NOLA, New Orleans.
Okay. And are you moving for the family, or is that how you just, is that?
I am arthritic. So I am moving for, I was thinking about just warmer weather because my joints hurt all the time here.
So was that your secondary? Was that the secondary? Did she get it yet? Is New Orleans the true reason, or she still need to search?
No, but I know she's going to get it.
Okay, keep going.
So, so you plan to stay here for next couple of years, or is it something that you're waiting for something else to happen?
Well, Sneha, yeah, I'm kind of waiting. I'm here for a couple of years because I've got some things like on like my credit report. So yeah, I'm here for the next couple of years.
Okay, so I feel the objection is the money, as far as I understand in this, correct? Robin?
Yeah, you got it. Looks like she's
Yeah.
nervous about her credit report.
Credit report. And so what do you do in an instance like that? Because what do you say to somebody who says he's going to move out in 2 years?
What is showing? What's on your credit report that's got you nervous?
Okay.
And this is an opportunity to provide value because she might not be buying tomorrow. That's okay, right? Like, what would you do, Sneha, if your really good friend told you that they had credit issues, right? You'd
Right.
have some people that you'd connect them with,
Connect
right? So
them,
this, yeah, this is a great chance to, hey, it sounds like you're excited to make this next move in your life, but there's some things that are standing in your way. Would it be helpful for me to connect you with someone that we've worked in the past that's been really great with helping people repair their credit? Would that be useful for you? Right.
Right.
So sometimes we're not able to close because they're not ready, right? If you find out they have 580 credit, or you find out that doesn't even have to be financial. It could be that hey, I want to sell my two, like Sean, like I want to sell my 2-bedroom condo, and I want to move into a new place, but X is holding me back, right? Well, great. Well, would it be useful for you to know the true value of the condo that you're in right now, right? So so that's good. Robin cannot go. She's got a customer right now. She said in the comments. She's actually frustrated, which I love. That means we're all in the right room, right? We all want to get better. All right, Sneha. So you can ask anybody you want. Give them your objection. You can pick whoever it is, just not Robin. She's got a customer right now.
Oh, guess it's Jenna.
Jana, you're popular today. Jana.
I'm here.
So my objection is I'm not ready to move until next year. I'm not ready to get in this year, the market to buy.
Are you not ready until next year?
Next year, yeah, that's my.
Jana, are you there?
Just hold on. Hello?
Hey.
Can she hear me?
Yes,
you guys
I can
hear me?
you. Yes.
Oh, okay,
I
I'm
think
sorry.
we can hear you now. I think you cut out for a second.
I kind of froze. Is there a reason why you're waiting until next year?
My daughter is in middle school and, don't want to move this year. Well, when she has friends, so maybe next year when she's ready to move to the next phase of her life in high school.
Oh, so what grade is she in?
She's in 7th grade.
7th grade. So This is gonna sound harsh. Irregardless of whether she has to move this year or next year, she's still gonna have to go through the process of regaining friends. Um, our next year will put you at in the February timeframe again. And school starts in September. So we will want to start getting the search together now to try to get her into the next year marking period. Is that something that you would be willing to do?
We like to move actually from a townhouse and, looking at a single family home. So I'm not sure if I have the funds.
Oh, if you had the funds. Okay. Have you had a chance to get pre-qualified yet?
Beautiful, beautiful, right? Beautiful job. Jana, that was great, right? The first question is the perfect question. What's important to you about waiting until next year? Right? That's the most direct way to attack that. And she said, I'm waiting for my child to switch to high school. Got it. So that was good. And then you kept digging until you got to the financial. Did she get to it, Sneha?
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, Jana, you're up. We're going to do Jana and then one more.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me pick Dana.
Sounds good.
And my objection will be, oh man, what's one that I have run into? I'm looking for an investment property, one that I can live in and also rent out, kind of for property that can pay for itself. I don't think this is the market for it.
Okay, so what market would set you up for success then? What would that look like?
I'm sorry, say that again.
What market would that look like that would set you up for success?
I'm not quite sure.
This sounds like every investor I have in my arsenal right now. Like I have like a lot of new investors, right? This is great. This is really good. Okay,
So
Jana, sorry to interrupt.
What does a successful investment property, what does that mean to you? How much money would you be making?
I'm okay with breaking it as far as my mortgage. I want to get into a property that can potentially put a little bit of money monthly into my pocket, as well as pay the mortgage.
Okay, so how much money would you like to put in your pocket? What would be a win for you?
If I could clear a few $100s, that would be a win.
So if I brought you a property that covered your mortgage plus you made $100, is that a property you would be interested in?
Yes.
Okay, so if I could get you together a list of some properties that would put you in that situation, would you pull the trigger today?
Today, I'm not sure if I'm ready today.
Okay, what's stopping you or holding you back?
I'm currently in a lease.
Okay.
Where I'm renting an apartment. So
sure.
Maybe.
When does your lease end?
July.
Okay, so not very far away. So if we found a property that covered your mortgage plus put $100 a month extra in your pocket, and it could align with you having settlement in the June, July timeframe, would that be something that you would be willing to pull the trigger on?
Yes.
Okay, sounds good. I'll get a list of those properties together for you.
Dana, I want that clip of that. That was fantastic. It was like all of those corrections, because you can see that Dana's asking those questions because she knows that there's something else going on, right? So that's why like she's asking those questions because she's digging. That was fantastic, super direct. When will you know that it's the right market, right? When will you know it's the right market for you? What does a win look like for you? And then if I could give you your win, would you make a move on it today? Like these are all super direct at what she was saying. It brought her directly there, right? Now she could have asked her, what neighborhood would you like to buy in? Or where do you work? Like these are other questions, but that's circling questions, right? Direct, straight into the teeth of it, and then she got where she wanted to go, right? The lease is the thing that was holding her back, not the market. And this is a great example because a lot of new investors, like they don't think that they can get what they want. And if I can get you what you want, would you make a move forward today? And that'll always get you down to either yes, great, let's set an appointment, or no, and that's the true objection. Oh my God, Dana. That's why you're Dana. That makes a lot of sense. All right, one last one. Dana.
All right, Robin, this is going to you.
This Robin.
Yeah, Robin Martin.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right. I don't think I have enough cash to buy right now.
Got it. You don't think you have enough cash to buy right now. Okay. Well, tell me, what is enough cash to buy in your mind?
Well, I'm just hearing all my friends talk about, you need money for your down payment, your closing costs, and mortgage rates are going up. So I don't think it's the right time for me.
Got it. So got it. So yeah, your friends are right? There are a lot of different components to purchasing a house. Have you ever, in the houses that you're looking at, I assume you're looking online, have you kind of put together exactly what that number would look like?
The sale price number?
No, actually the amount of money that you'd need to be able to buy a house. Have you had a chance to look into what that would actually be?
No.
Got it. So if you could, now I'm gonna isolate, right? So if you found out that the amount of money that you need to purchase a house is in your bank account today, would you be willing to move forward?
Well, I would love to, but I'm just really nervous.
I hear that. Buying a house is a big deal. Tell me, what's making you nervous?
Well, my parents bought a house and we had it foreclosed on as a child. So I don't ever want to be in that situation.
I hear that. That sounds, I don't even know what to say. I mean, that sounds like a really difficult situation. And I can't imagine what that was like to go through. And I can see how that would be something that you definitely want to avoid. See, I get stuck too. Okay, so if you could make sure that you were purchasing your home in a really smart way, that would really mitigate a lot of the risks of ending up in a situation like your parents ended up in. Would now be a good time for you to move forward?
Yeah, I think if I knew what I was getting into and I had, that safety net, I would feel more confident.
Yeah. I'm going to pause myself. Marquise is for Marquise. So she opened me up for a close right away. I could have said, well, let's meet. Let's talk about how much money a house costs, right? But I don't notice, because I didn't close, I got another step further, right? And now I understand her in a deeper way. So now that I have that information, I can come in and close. So now I can say, hey, do you think it would be worth your time to sit down with me for about 20 minutes, go through everything it is to buy a house, from the financing to the timing, so that you can have a better understanding of the entire process and what you're going to need for it? Would that be worth 20 minutes of your time?
Yes. And I see Sneha has a hand up. Did you want to ask a
Yep.
question, Sneha?
So my question is, when a situation like this arises, like can you go in and ask the person, so tell me where you're living right now and what does your rent look like? And if I showed you a number that matches or does even better than your rent that you're paying, would you be interested to buy?
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, regarding around like the foreclosure and scared that it's going to happen, like how much money would you like to have saved that would make you feel comfortable buying a home because you had that money, you know, set aside? And I think that loops into Sneha, like if you're paying $1,500 a month in rent and we can find you a house and your mortgage going to be $1,200, so you can put an extra $300 in savings.
Yeah.
Would that make you feel a little more comfortable moving forward and considering buying a home today?
Yeah, I mean, that's my only thing I think you can argue when somebody is coming up with a number and insecurity with that, right?
Yeah, knowing what that number is, right? I
Right.
think that's kind of the dig deeper.
Yeah, I definitely challenge you to dig deeper into that because there's almost always something else that's making them feel insecure about it. But at the very least, also that you're going to run into a lot of misinformation about how much you're still going to run into people who think you need 20%. Right? You're going to run into a lot of misinformation there, and you're going to have some opportunity to give them. So it's that, remember, you're finding out their perspective, you're figuring out their plan, and then you're giving them a way to do it better, faster, sooner now. Right? Go ahead, Sean.
I was going to say too, like I would even ask, well, do you know what happened surrounding your parents' foreclosure? And like, if you find out like, oh, well, my dad, got cancer and they fired him from his job, she might just have an unrealistic fear that isn't something that's likely to happen under normal market conditions. You know what I mean? And then you kind of can address like a personal thing, like, well, listen, like it sounds like you have a secure job and you're in a good place. Like, is that a fear that you really want to like tie into what you're doing right now? And it might not be a realistic thing. I went through this with a client this past year where they were like, we don't want to overpay because my parents back in 2008 got foreclosed on. I'm like, right. So this might just be something that's not real. Like, I was like, guys, based on your finances, like you're way overqualified to buy this house. Like you're going to be fine. Like you just have a fear that something terrible is going to swoop out from the sky and like nab you up. But like, it's really probably not a realistic thing to like be worried about.
Yeah. Or do you have trouble paying your rent right now? No, you've never missed a rent payment.
Right. Like, is your credit great? Are you qualified? Like sometimes people just have these, like it's like having a fear of sharks, but you've never gone swimming. It's like, you're not going to get eaten by a shark if you never go in the ocean. It's going to be okay.
Yeah. No, that's a great point, especially even changing jobs, right? We've all changed jobs numerous times and we didn't stop paying our rent. Right. So even if you were to lose your job and start a new career, like whether you're paying rent or paying mortgage, you're still just making payments. Right. So, no, great point. Well, everybody, that was a fantastic job today of getting direct, right? Like it's hard. It's like there's a pull to like, I just want to pop it. All right, Dana, tell me what neighborhoods you're interested in. Tell me like how many bedrooms do you want, right? Like we get pulled into there. But the realistic truth of the matter is that we can ask direct questions and get directly to it. Absolutely, Marquise, we can do this again next week. We're going to do this, but then we're going to launch into the close. We're going to do this in conjunction with another step, but 100% we're going to work on asking direct questions. And it takes a lot of work, guys. Like Dana that didn't happen in one night, I promise you. That was a really great performance, but that's exactly what asking direct questions does. It gets us right to the heart of matters significantly faster. So great job on everybody today, and we'll work on this again next week.